Good evening, everybody. As you can hear, I got a new mic, which makes me very excited, and I'm happy to try it out, and I'm happy to see how it works and how the different audio parts function with each other and how the settings work. So if there's anything missing, let me know, and let's jump into it. What I have for you is a Torrential replay, a game that I played previously, but I didn't, I think I accidentally deleted my recording, so now we have to get into it. The good thing is now that you can hear it with a fresh audio quality, so maybe this is worth something. Okay, we're going in and we're playing. That was the fun part. This Lara was 12-0 in his last match. We saw it at a feed at the beginning. And then I was like, alright, you think you're a good offlaner? Let's show you how we can play the Torrential and how aggressive we can play. And I think I showed it before in a, what was it? In a match, I think in a coaching session, I showed some laning mechanics against a Bristleback, I think. And the same thing applies here. You just press this guy constantly. It's also the same lineup, like we have an Ogre and we have Torrential. They both really work well together because they both have a slow, and Ogre can frontline for Torrential. And as you can see, I'm trying to look at the positioning. I really like that. I'm really happy with myself on this replay, I think. So I'm trying to click this guy constantly, and right now I'm clicking him because all of the creeps are full HP. If I trade right now, then I'm not missing any CS and my Ogre doesn't die. Like if I'm just AFK here, sitting here and trying to get some early denies or whatever, then this guy is just gonna run at my Ogre and he might be even dead. So you wanna participate on the laning stage and you wanna be there and like put pressure on them, but you don't wanna miss a last hit. So as soon as the creeps go low, I'm gonna be there instantly. I got a deny, I got 3 last hits, I'm gonna click him again. Like as soon as the creeps are not in, as soon as I don't need the time to actually use my auto attacks, I can, for creeps, I can constantly use frost arrows on enemy. And as you see, I even bought an Mango, which really shows my commitment here to use my mana. I really want to use everything I have and just constantly get him low. And again, the concept behind of this is those combos like a Grimstroke and a Slaughter, once I get in the wrong position, I'm usually dead. But you can avoid this whole scenario by just being on a HP advantage. So you want to trade them low, and now this Slaughter is never going to make a play. Like he's going to try to self if he has one, or try to regen somehow, but he's never going to die from me just because he can't kill me while being that low. And as you can see, I even positioned myself before the creep wave, so there's no way for touching him, and Ogre does it wonderful. Like this is absolutely perfect from his side as well. He's in the trees on the side, really harassing those guys, tanking all the damage that's coming in, and I'm just being the one dealing damage and being the frontliner. And if this Lara chills around for too long, he's just dead. And that's exactly what we get. We get the first kill, we get a double kill, and at this point, even if you lose a couple of creeps, it's a huge advantage that you take. And before that, I'm gonna upload a coaching session as well. Maybe after even, I don't know. But we talked there about getting kills in the lane or taking last hits in the lane. And in this case, for example, you saw clearly that maybe you miss 1 or 2 last hits, but you have the chance of getting a kill or getting them completely zoned out. And of course, this brings you the greater value because it's an investment. Later on, your creeps are going to be easier to take, and so you want to take that and save for yourself something in the future. Now I use the Mango. I want to be ready to blow out all the mana I have again. And this is an interesting situation. What you don't want to do is to be right here now, because if you're right here, this Grimstroke is gonna respawn as well. They're like both full HP, so everything changed again. They're extremely scary. They're gonna use 2 spells on me since they're level 2, and then they're gonna run at me till my own tower since the Ogre is pulling, he's not here with me, and I just instantly die. So you have to see those scenarios where things change again. And as soon as people die and they're not low HP anymore, especially for Torrential without boots, things change extremely fast. And same thing again, like the creep wave is pushing and I'm not gonna stand here. I'm not gonna be here and get stunned and slowed by Grimstroke. I'm not gonna risk my life to die there instantly. So I just wanna be here and chill a little bit. He's stacking, okay, fair enough. And as we can see, the wave is pushing anyway since it was an enemy tower. And as soon as this guy shows again, I wanna click him as hard as I can, and the creeps are not in danger of falling too low. So we go again, we try to click him. At this point, I think I should have went for the range creep, maybe. My thought process was that my courier is here and I didn't exactly see Grimstroke, I think, at the moment. Or at least in the present moment, it wasn't obvious to me. And so I went for the courier to get my items instead of the range creep. But it's not ideal, of course. But again, we click him, and now we want to be aggressive again. Like we want to meet up the creep somehow. And here I'm just going to try to save my Ogre. Back to CS. try to chill and get the creeps together. And try to click them again. Like as soon as they approach the lane, I want them to use spells. Even if it's aggressive on me, I want them to do something. I want them to get low, to use the spells, to get attacked, and just don't have an easy time on this lane. This is super important for John Ranger to win the laning stage. And now as you can see, I'm getting the next item. I think movement makes a lot of sense. Like for items, I wanted to get 2 Wraith Bands because I feel like it's a nice balance between the ability to lane for the armor and also for the jungle ability later. And then I wanted to get the boots, because the only thing that really kills me is getting chased down by Slaughter and by Grimstroke. But now again, I want to build Power Treads, which is farming efficient for jungle camps, and it's also a great aggressive item for the laning stage. My Ogre is getting damaged, so I'm trying to join. And as you can see, I'm such a threat on this lane. I got 2 points in the queue and instantly got it, and I'm gonna... yeah. And this is just a beautiful combo that we can get here. And as soon as you establish dominance once like this, it's so much more likely that it's gonna happen a second time. And as I said, this Slaughter is like not a bad player at all, depending on what you mean. But he's an immortal guy as well, and he was 12-0 in the last game, so I was really happy with how that turned out. Alright. Now again, we just easily lane, there's nothing really happening here so far. I don't want to push the lane too hard, or maybe we can start taking some camps. And at this point I can even start to pressure the tower a little bit if they don't show up. Like I just don't want to be AFK. What I see many people do is, as soon as they do die and they're not showing back up in lane, they're still holding the creeps here and all they do is take the CS. What you can do instead is you can pressure the tower, or you can start at some point to rotate into the jungle camps. But as you can see in this lane, I tried to play super aggressive and I got 3 points in Frost Arrow, which is a decision I oftentimes regret. But with this ability, I don't really want to jungle right now. So I'm just going to be on the tower, I'm going to be a threat for the tower and try to take the objective. And even on this guy, on the Grimstroke, I was like, hey, we can kill this guy. Like if he oversteps, we can just go on him and delete him. So I'm basically just trying to push in one more wave, communicating it with my Ogre, and then I'm trying to get this Grimstroke as well. They glyphed, perfect, but now I got it. The slow is there because I got 3 points in it, and instantly we get another kill in return. And as you can see, the Slaughter can't play in this lane anymore whatsoever, and it's 7 minutes in. And now even Shadowfiend has to rotate, but he won't kill me. He doesn't have any items to get me. Yules could be a threat later on, but right now he doesn't have anything. I can just Frost Arrow him once and then keep running, and he doesn't have anything on me at all. But now of course the things change a little bit. Like if you take the tower, that's fine, but then you want to look to get the jungle camps, or I think, which is what I tried, I think I'm going to take this camp here, I'm going to stack it, and then take the camp, maybe push one more top. But then I decide, hey, I'm level 7, I'm like the strongest guy right now, and Slaughter just TP'd bottom. So for me this is an opening. In my mind this is a beautiful opening and I want to play according to that. And what I want to do right now is to take pressure on other heroes. Like I either want to take mid lane tower, I want to take top lane tower, I just want to play and be active. And so I decide, let's go mid lane. And I even communicated it to my Lina, and this is a little bit disappointing at this part, because I was pretty sure that she's behind me. I think we even agreed on like going mid lane, and so I kind of went in and I died instantly, and I was like, yeah, keep farming jungle camps, I don't know. But maybe he saw something I didn't. I felt a little bit misunderstood, but whatever, I'm running up top again. I just want to play, like right now I want to be aggressive, so I'm joining up with Mars hopefully. I'm like, hey, okay, Mars is back in 15 seconds. I see that he has Arena, and I want to leverage this against another building. And as you can see, like from a Morph perspective, imagine you play Morphling, and you just kill the enemy Mars, and you're like level 8, and suddenly a Draw Ranger shows up, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing here? Why are you sitting in my lane? What do you want from me? And this is exactly the sensation you want to have. Now I see Mars mid lane, and I'm like, not really optimal. Let's see what happens. But I still want to leverage this, I still want to pressure lanes and be active. So it happened mid lane, fair enough. And again, you see me top. I think after seeing this, I could have been even more persistent on the top area instead of provoking mid first. But now we take top. Better late than never. And now it's 12 minutes in, and I basically won 2 lanes. Like I took the bottom tower, I took the top tower. And now, of course, like what is left there? Of course, you can say you want to farm your items, but look, I just got my Dragonlance, so I want to be active again. With this Dragonlance, I want to leverage it against the next tower, so I'm moving mid lane. Maybe we take a couple of camps and we wait for Mars ulti, but I'm pretty sure that I'm pinging here, okay, let's go. Mars has ulti in like 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, I want to be at this mid tower, and I want to guarantee some damage on this tower. So I'm trying to chill here. And Mars TP'd bottom, which was kind of sad for me as well. But hey, now Mars is here. And as you can see, as soon as Mars is there, we can actually play. But it's, again, a mistake on my part, because I wasn't patient enough. But I think the general idea still comes across, that you want to use your advantage and you want to play for the objectives. I just respawn, we take the next tower, I'm happy with it. We take a couple of kills, fair enough. And now, what do we do? Like, Lina just TP'd bottom right now. But what I would do in this game instead is I would just try to control this whole top area. Like, I would try to play in this area completely and just move the top wave into the tower consistently and defend the mid lane tower. And this would enable us to basically control this whole area and also to have the opportunity to take Roche later on. And I think this is my plan, so let's see if I can actually execute it. But I just want to be here, take away Morg's farm. And yeah, taking the wave. I'm gonna push another wave, I bet. Nothing crazy here. Like, this is a standard rotation. I just want to get you the idea in your head that after you take the objectives, you want to play on the enemy side of the map. Ensure that you maybe get the ancients as well if you have to, and or what if you have to, but if you have the opportunity, and just consistently pressure the enemy side. And then look what happens. This is amazing. This is actually just the result that you get out of it. Because if you farm at the right place, as I quote my coach for the millionth time, people will come and they will flee. So the slaughter comes in, and the slaughter dies. And now there's Shadow Fiend, and I'm like, hey, we can still play. And now this guy comes in, and he dies. And let's see if anybody dies, actually. I don't know. I don't quite remember. But we get some action in. You get the point. The gameplay has been gone for a while. I think it was a couple, maybe even a week ago. I don't know. Still, we get the point. And now people could say, hey, cool, let's pressure top tower. And this is something I encounter with like 2k, 3k people all the time, where it's like early, maybe even earlier, like if I'm playing with friends and we take the tower in like, I don't know, 10 minutes and we decide to play top still, that they're like, wow, they're dead, let's go and push. And then actually, if you look at it, in 14 seconds, everything is back to normal, except for we don't have any spells. So you don't want to overextend, you want to get the items that actually enable you to do this. And in my case, this would be a Hurricane Pike, definitely. You just want to get the distance. Like, you don't need something like Manta here right now, right? It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe you can say, I want to dispel Silence and I want to dispel Slaughter ult. But hey, if you just can keep the distance, you're fine. And so I'm rotating bottom. I see the DD. And then I'm like, we could actually fight again. If we don't fight, I want to take Ancients. If we do fight, which I really want to do here right now, we're not smoking for some reason, even though I think we have a smoke. So I was kind of frustrated sometimes in this game. But I just want to play. I just want to play. So we get on whatever we see, even though it's risky. I feel like I'm so far ahead that we can do this. And now this ogre actually dies top. Instead of smoking with us going top together, we get a triple kill on some random dudes and then leverage it into something. But fair enough. In my mind still, maybe we want to pressure tower, but actually what I want to do is to just get the Hurricane Pike as fast as I can, and then we can play more aggressive, and then we can leverage this. Alright? I have been interrupted by a phone call. Let's head back into it. We're pushing top. We're trying to look at the map. We're trying to get the Hurricane Pike. That was it, exactly. So we're rotating back to the Ancients, finishing up the Ancients, stacking them of course, because we want to farm back on the minute, be there at the renew minute to stack the Ancients. And then rotate top. I'm still looking at the top building. This is the only objective I really want to take. And I want to take it as soon as I have an item that enables me to do it, which is Hurricane Pike. So we hit the Hurricane Pike, we smoke together, ideally. I'm together with my Mars, ideally. And then we move top, we get a kill, we take the objective, we take Roche. That would be perfect. Let's see if it happens that way. Or if you get distracted, like fighting mid lane or whatever. Now we're deciding to get Roche. Instead of taking the tower first, which is decent, we just took the kill. We know that they're not threatening this area. Look at this, we even scan this area to see if they're coming in. Maybe Mars should have been with me, and maybe a Nyx could have like pushed out the wave or whatever. And so it's kind of weird. So what do we do now? Quiz question. We A, TP bottom and push out the wave to control the enemy triangle. Or B, run down mid lane. Or C, push the top tower. Or D, go back to our own jungle and farm. Quick thinking time. Of course it's going top. Like, as you can see, this is an objective we want to take. As soon as we do take it, it opens up this side of the map. As soon as we have this side of the map, they can cross into it anymore and we can pressure the mid tower from it. So taking top, in my mind, is the next most plausible objective. Let's go for it, see what happens. I'm like, hey, let's move. Look at me at the minimap. Get that arrow up there. Moving top. And now look at this. By the way, I just want to point this out really quick. This Nyx assassin has been chilling bottom. And she was like, you don't see it. She was like, hey, can somebody TP bottom? Can you TP bottom? We can kill this guy. Why doesn't anybody TP bottom? You don't want to kill? Why can't you TP bottom? And I'm like, dude. We're taking a tower with the Aegis, with the items that enable us to get the objective. If Morph takes a tower there or farms 2 more creeps, what do I care? And so we're like, nope, not happening. I'm TPing mid even after this. Even after this. I could be TPing here. Getting into a random fight with some dudes, helping this Nyx to get the morph, but it's not happening. What is happening instead is that I TP mid and I take the tower, and we're happy. If you play bottom there, you're not happy. Trust me. Now people go at me, and it's fine because we're at the right position and we can play, and we have the heroes that we want to have, and suddenly the game is playable again. And even though I didn't quite like the tempo of Lina at the beginning, she was with me at Roche. Now she gets a couple of kills with us. It's beautiful. We can dive this easily. Now we get the mid tower, and maybe get even more. Maybe get the Rex. Let's see. Nyx TPing bottom again for some weird reason, and I'm like, I still have Aegis. I do want to die here. I do want to go high ground. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So I'm moving mid lane again. I'm trying to play aggressive. We get a kill on a slaughter. Perfect. I want to posture even more aggressive. I want to go high ground. I want to tank the tower. I want to die here. I want them to get baited by myself being low. I just want to play, just want to get into it. That's exactly what I want to do. Now Mars comes in and tanks it. I use the Aegis. I'm happy with it. At some point you got to use it anyways. And now we can rethink our decisions in life, or our options better. So right now, we had an amazing scenario. We put some pressure on the mid tower. We didn't quite get it because they didn't overextend, because they're not completely idiots. And what happens now? We have different choices again. We could attempt to go high ground again, or we could farm this area. And I want to farm this area again, up and down, until I get an item that enables me to get high ground. Because if I try to attempt high ground right now, you have to get this in your head, guys. If you're at minute 13 and you try to get a tier 2 tower, it's not gonna work. If you're at minute 25 and you try to go high ground against 5, it's probably not gonna work, even with a 12k gold lead. So you shouldn't attempt it. Instead, use the space that you have, use the advantage that you have, try to pressure people and make sure that they're stuck in the base. And then if they step out, and this is an if they step out, if they make mistakes, you can play. But you don't have to overdo it, because instead you can just farm the item that helps you to get where you want to be. So let's see, if they don't mess up, I'm not gonna mess up. This is the approach that I want to have here. I want to limit my own mistakes. Shard could have been great this game, by the way. I just realized it against Morph. Like, get Shard and Skadi will be amazing. Skadi, I think, makes sense in this game for me, because I just don't want to get bursted instantly. But BKB doesn't really help me that much. This is physical damage from Morph, this is physical damage coming out from Marcy, and physical damage coming out from Slardar. And I want to get them away and slow them even more. Like, I want to increase the distance and keep them at distance, so Skadi allows me to do both. And Shard actually fits very nice in this narrative, so I could have gotten it. When is the question, right? How farmed do you have to be to get all the items? And as you can see, Sanjin Yasha is just an item to get around Shadow Fiend. Like, if Shadow Fiend uses you, is this even a huge Shadow Fiend? I don't even know. It's not even. But usually if I play against Shadow Fiend, I try to get the Yasha. It's great against Sun setups. It's just great for more survivability. And then if you combine it together with some other stats items, you're super tanky. And now look at this. 12% status resistance plus, what is it? 20% status resistance plus Skadi. I'm just tanky, man. I'm just a tanky dude. And now suddenly I have the item, and suddenly the tower can fall. Let me get the sound back in. So we do move mid, even though my Mars just took a bunch of damage and he doesn't have ulti. I'm like, hey, look at me, look at my items, I can play. And suddenly he goes in, he dies. We take top tower, and if they try to contest it, now the game is just over. Like, if you look at the morphling items, he can have BKB, and he had a decent game. Like, he's not bad in the game here with 6-4. But it's just not enough to match me at this point. Sound really happy with myself, right? Yeah, I am. What you gonna do about it? And now the game is just over. I think I do die here again. And at this point, what you do at this point, by the way, if you die here and you know the Shadow Fiend is still dead and Marcy die backed, you all buy back as well, and then you finish the game. Because maybe they can take you once, but the probability of them taking you twice is really low. The only thing is, if you misread this play and you buy back and you go in and you die again, then it's a giga throw, man. But so you have to be, yeah. I mean, you just play it safe, but if you know that you have the upper hand and you just fucked up a little bit and you killed somebody from buyback, then you can have the advantage and just go back in again. Which is fine, which is what we do. So in we go and the game is over. Alright. I hope this made sense. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And let me know if you find any mistakes, any things I'm doing wrong, any like small inefficiency. I want to keep working at those gameplays. I want to keep thinking about them. Especially like I still have 3 deaths, so it's not perfect. And I think I don't have the attitude of having the need of getting a perfect gameplay. But what I want to have is improvements step by step and just growing a little bit and seeing where this goes. So I just love this because we saw it's a tough matchup, you gotta say, but you can definitely play it in your favor if you do it right, I think. And this guy basically went from 12 to 0 to 1 to 10. Makes me happy. Makes me say, okay, I didn't play against a complete fool and I did my job. And this is great. I can move on forward for this. I think my Troll Ranger laning stage is pretty decent right now. I dropped a little bit of MMR, as you saw. I was immortal actually before, and some of those people just can't deal with Troll Ranger. So I'm happy with that. Cool. See you later again.